guys, welcome to Fishing Lake Simcoe. I'm your host, Justin Girard. On today's show, we're launching out of Rayners Park Drive, which is in Cooks Bay. And I'm going to keep it simple today. Brought a couple rods, a few different lures. I'm going to try to catch multi-species out here. Also, on today's show, we'll look back at a couple weeks ago when I went out with my good friend Steve Basnicki from the Aurora Bassmasters, who showed us some tricks on some bass and some good key areas out here. So stay tuned, I'm going to put the boat in the water and let's go fishing. Alright guys, well, just right off of Rayners Park where we launched, I'm just in front of the pump house we call it, so Old Homestead Road. And I'm just following the weed line about 13, 14 feet of water. And I put on the crankbait. And what I'm going to do is try to search to find some fish pretty much. And I'm going to troll at about 1.5 miles an hour alongside the weed line, and hopefully a couple fish are nearby the weed line waiting to feed on some prey, which hopefully is my crankbait. So we're just going to puddle on here and follow that weed line. I'm watching my fish finder, you can see the weeds coming up. And yeah, see if we catch some fish. Hey guys, just put the crankbait down and I'm just about to reel in this fish here. Nice size crappie. Oh yeah, look at that. Woo, that's a big one. I don't catch too many of these kind of in the mornings like this. Or on the crankbait, I should say. Usually they're right in the weeds. That's what I'm talking about, using that crankbait to fish those weed lines and catch giant crappies like this. This is a nice one. What a nice slab. This will be good eating, that's for sure. But I'm gonna put them back, let them get bigger if they can. It's possible, but beautiful fish, look at that. And hit this crankbait right here. Like I said, trolling the weed lines. You know, there's fish there. I'm just kind of following that weed line. And those fish kind of sit in there and they wait for something like this to kind of swim by, and they just pounce on it. And that's what he did. So hopefully that's one of many. All right, I'm gonna take a quick picture of this fish. And there you go. Nice selfie. That's what you gotta do when you're by yourself. Let's put this fish back. And there he goes, right back down into that weed line. Let's catch some more. Let's get this back down. Hey guys, I'm over here at Canadian Tire in Keswick, and we're talking about crankbaits. What is a crankbait, and why are we talking about crankbaits? Well, a crankbait is a body bait that looks like a minnow or a small bait fish that has a lip on the end of it. And the lip size is kind of the most important part of the body bait. The bigger the lip, the deeper it's going to run in the water. The smaller the lip, the shallower it's going to run in the water. So it's great for casting out, you know, close to shore, or it's great for trolling behind your boat, very deep water, and it catches multi-species fish like pike and pickerel and perch and lake trout. So whether you're a new fisherman or been fishing for years, go get yourself a crankbait. It's the most versatile lure out there, and it's a great choice for catching fish. Let's go fishing. All right, got another one on here again. Nothing too big, but still having a blast out here. Trolling that weed line, keeping my bait down behind the boat, and picking away at these fish. I'm marking lots, which is good, but could be a nice jumbo perch here. Oh, there you go. At least it came into the boat, that's good. It's a feisty one. My finger in his mouth there. There you go. Nice little jumbo perch. We're getting bigger, which is good. But I mean, just trolling that crankbait on that weed line. You know, we're gonna catch fish all day long doing this. That's the beauty of Lake Simcoe. You know, I got one lure I'm using, one rod, and just trolling behind my boat, following that weed line, and I'm catching fish. You know, they're nothing big, nothing huge, but I mean, I'm having fun doing it, and that's what you can do too. Come out here, bring the kids, have fun. You know, they're gonna have a blast catching these fish. I still do. So let's put them back, let them get bigger, maybe catch them in the wintertime. If you hold them closer, they get bigger, like this. All right, let's put them back. It's not all about catching big fish most of the time. Which one's bigger? We're gonna put them back, let them get bigger. That's what we like to see. Nice jumbo. They get bigger, but I mean, this is a good average size. Hey guys, so trolled the weed line for a bit, caught a lot of little fish. We're gonna move out deeper and try some drop shotting. So we're gonna go out kind of starting about 35 feet of water and then let the wind push us towards shore and just keep the lines down on the bottom and try to catch some fish. So once we get out there, I'll show you what drop shotting is all about. But first, I gotta find some spots. All right guys, just drop shot in here and market some fish. Oh, there's one. So another little guy, I think. Yeah, there you go. That's not a little perch. Nothing wrong with that. But we got out here a bit deeper. Explain to you what we're doing here. All right, that's a little perch. I'm gonna put him back. So we're drop shotting. So basically drop shotting is as simple as putting your weights down on the bottom and a hook on top, probably about 18, 20 inches off the bottom. And the whole concept of it is that the weights will hit bottom, and then your hook would stay up here with your bait or lure, whatever you're using, live bait, worms, minnows. I'm using the fake bait here. And it'll just kind of do what's doing right now in the wind, but under the water. And basically, you know, fish come in and eat it. But you always stay in contact with the bottom, and always having that good presentation for the fish to see. And it's a great way to set up your kids with this rig, set up yourself. That way you know you're on bottom, you know you're in the right spot, you're in the right strike zone for the fish. I know before we used to put your weights on top and then the hook on the bottom and you get snagged. Well, this is a good way, especially for the kids. I do this with my kids all the time, do a drop shot in. That way they know when they feel the line go slack, then they're on the bottom, and just make sure it's a little bit tight. That way you know the hook's in the right spot and the bait, and then you wait for the bite. So that's what we did. It took us a good maybe 1 minute to get that fish. It's a little perch, but I mean, we're gonna try to catch some big ones, and that's how you catch some big bass with this rig. So let's give her a go and hopefully catch some bigger fish here. All right, another one, another drop shot, another little perch. Having fun catching these today. A drop shot, just a tiny little hook. What I'm doing when I feel the bite, I'll just start lifting up really slow, let them chase it, and usually they'll eat it on the way up. Again, it's just these little perch. Lots of little perch like this in Simcoe, that's for sure. Lots of small perch, but still fun. Go tell your grandfather, bite my lure please. We want the bigger ones. It feels like a bit better fish. Oh, that's a big perch. Look at the size of that perch. If they get the, ah, came off. Ah, that was a big perch. I should have grabbed the net for that one, but I was being lazy, and unfortunately it came off. That's the way she goes. Hey guys, quick tip for you when you're launching your boat by yourself. Always remember, number one is to make sure your boat's ready to go before you get into the launch so you're not holding other people back. Second thing is to do is what I've done here is tie my rope right onto my boat trailer, so when I back up the boat, it'll come off the trailer just a bit and the rope will stop it from basically losing your boat out in the water. That way you just untie it, push it off, tie it to the dock, go park your car, get back in your boat and go fishing. Hopefully this helps you. As I continue to troll and try to find some bigger fish, a couple weeks ago I was out with my good friend Steve Basnicki from the Aurora Bassmasters. Showed us some good key areas for some bass. Have a look. So we just got to our first spot. I'm with my good friend Steve Basnicki. Steve, thanks for coming out fishing with me today and show me some of the ropes at Cook's Bay. I know you fish Cook's Bay a lot, so I'm happy you came out with me. So what's kind of the goal today? What are we doing? What's the game plan? I know you got a nice game plan that we talked about already.
Yeah, game plan is to track down those little monster largies and smallies and hopefully some pike. We're going to be doing some shallow water, some mid-range water, some deep water. Basically, we're going to be exploring and looking for what the fish are telling us to do. We're looking for some bait fish, some good weed lines, and we're just going to throw the lure out, sing the Here Fishy Fishy song.
Yeah, perfect. So we got to our first spot. It's kind of a little shallow, goes a bit deep, and you said we're going to just throw some jigs out there and see what the fish want today, and then try a few different spots throughout the day and kind of try to put a pattern together, right?
Yep.
Perfect. Well, we'll explain to the viewers as we're fishing what we're doing and try to help everyone out catching more fish on Lake Simcoe. But until then, this is a good spot, so let's get the rods in the water and let's catch some fish.
Let's get some lines wet.
Let's go. All right, Steve, we've got a few casts in. No fish yet, but you know what? We're going to keep plugging away. But I just want to talk to viewers about what we're using, what we're doing here. I know we're using a jig and pig, but for most people at home, they don't know what that is. Can you explain a little bit what we're using and what a jig and pig is?
Yeah, sure. A jig is an extremely versatile lures for new anglers. One of the things what makes it so versatile is the fact that you can use this in all water columns. You can swim it on the bottom, you can swim it through the water. The faster you swim it will dictate on where it goes, but where it becomes more versatile is being able to bring it through the weeds. What makes it versatile again is the fact that it has a weed guard on the end.
Perfect.
That
so you
covers up the hook.
Put it through the weeds, kind of put it through, and you won't not worry about getting caught in the weeds all the time, and then more time for the fish to eat it, right?
Yep.
Exactly.
And especially too for the pike and bass, they love these little things because the pike and bass love to munch on craws.
Yeah.
So when you look at it, when you put a different type of...
Looks like crawfish, eh? Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, it's got the little pinchies.
Yeah. So we're just casting out here on the point. We're probably, what, 3 feet of water, 4 feet of water here?
Yeah, about 3 feet of water.
Yeah.
Some nice rocks and some...
So we're just casting
weeds.
out, let it hit the bottom, just kind of jig it up a bit, and kind of just work it back towards the boat and keep casting different angles and different speeds, see what they like.
Yep.
Perfect. Well, let's get some more casts in and see what these fish want today. It's a beautiful morning, the sun's just coming up, and we're going to have a good day on the water. All right, see, well, we got to our second spot, just kind of across from Roach's Point here, still in Cook's Bay, and we're going to just try some crankbaits, right? Just cranking off this little shoulder's point here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be throwing a shallow running jerk bait, get a reactionary strike, and I'm going to be getting you to use a little square bill that will run to about the 6-7 feet.
Perfect.
Get a nice little wobble going on there.
Yeah.
Get a couple of lures in the water, and hopefully both of them are going to work, but if one works, then we'll switch up to the same lure and then start getting some fish in the boat.
Perfect. All right, let's try to get a pattern down here and catch some fish.
Sounds good.
All right, got a little rock bass here. Second cast in our new spot. Nice little Simcoe rock bass. It's actually a pretty big rock bass for Lake Simcoe. You know, caught him on the crankbait. Hey, Steve, casting off the shore here. And yeah, nice little fish. Nothing wrong with that. Let's get some bigger ones though, eh?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Where there's one, there's always going to be more.
Another fish on here, just a small little rock bass. Casting off the rocks here. So we had switched to, what do you call this, Steven?
A weedless, wacky Simcoe rig.
You got your weedless guard right here so you don't get caught in the weeds. And just a worm hooked in the middle of it. And just let it sink down, jig up, sink down, and this guy hit it on the way down. Nice little rock bass. A little rock bass, there you go. On the same rig, a couple casts after the last one. I like this. All right guys, well we're still trying to catch some fish here. We're kind of basically right in the middle of Cook's Bay. Crates Marine to my right, and Steve calls this the fingers, which is, why don't you explain to me what the fingers are? Explain to the viewers what the fingers are, kind of in the middle of Cook's Bay here, Steve.
Well, what the fingers are is an underwater structure mark. It has a bunch of high-low spots and a few boulders here and there. But it's also a great spot for largies and other bait fish to hold into. What makes it really cool is that it has some underwater current, which is pushed through from Lake Simcoe, which is up there, and also pushes down to the Holland River. So usually it's always on fire, but I guess today, since it's a bluebird sky, I guess the fish are on vacation.
Too much of a nice day, I think, for the fish to bite, but we're gonna be optimistic, keep casting, keep throwing lures, and hopefully eventually get some more fish in the boat. Got another fish on here, another little guy. We're just all about little guys today, but it's okay. I take any fish, doesn't matter how big they are. Little bluegill there.
Hungry little guy.
You think, yeah, the size of the lure, look at the size of the fish. We'll still eat it. Nice colors on him, eh? Nice blue. Right in here. Put this guy back, let him get bigger. Fun for another day. There you go, little buddy. All right, another one here. This one, probably the size of the bait. Makes you wonder how a little fish like that bites a big lure, eh? Oh man.
Go off a little bit from that. That's a nice little largie.
Nice little bass, perfect.
And we're out a
Is he
little
net
bit.
worthy?
Nah.
All right.
I always like to slide my hand right down to the hook.
Yeah.
So this way, I get to hold the hook and I don't have to worry about hurting the fish or stabbing myself. Yeah, nice
Show
little.
the viewers at home, a nice largemouth bass there. Beautiful colors on them.
Well, and I did say when I finally catch one, I'm going to give him a kiss right on the lips.
Yeah.
Mwah. Thank you.
I got a little bass on here. Feels a little bit better. Another crappie. There you go. Look at the size of that big fella. Woo! This is a nice fish. There you go. Put that away. There you go. A beautiful crappie. These are great eating fish. Good fighting fish. Nothing wrong with this. It's what Lake Simcoe has to offer in Cook's Bay. We caught some perch today, caught some crappies. But that's what Cook's Bay has to offer. Get out there, throw some crankbaits. If you don't know the area too good, it's the best way to catch fish and find fish and locate depths that you want to maybe come back and jig them later. So try crankbait, it works. As you can tell, we've caught a bunch of fish. We're going to put this one back. All right guys, I'm going to do one last pass my crankbait, hoping for that big fish like we always do. I mean, we had a good morning out here on Cook's Bay. We trolled the weed lines, caught a lot of fish, not very big ones, but we still caught a lot of perch and crappies, which is so much fun to do. A couple weeks ago with my good friend Steve, as you've seen, we had a tough day. It was very hot outside. We still managed a couple of fish, but not the ones we were looking for. But at the end of the day, we got out here, we got the job done. You know, it's not always about catching a big fish. It's about coming out here, having a good time, enjoying Lake Simcoe in the summertime, and having fun doing it. So until next time, I'm your host, Justin Girard. Thanks for watching Fishing Lake Simcoe. Come on, fish. Come on. I think we're about to get pulled over by the York region here. It's good to see him out here. How's it going, guys?
Catch one. I'm going to give him a kiss right on the lips.
Mwah.
Thank you.
Put this back down, got back on course, and catching these little perch like that. Ah. There you go, spits the hook right at the boat. That's the way the day is going today. While we're waiting for a bite, check out some of the footage from last time. Unbelievable.
All set up.